Welcome, class, to Lesson 2-13. Strong mathematicians can use different methods of two-digit by two-digit multiplication. So take out your notebook and a pencil, write down today's date, the lesson, and maybe a little like two-digit by two-digit multiplication will be a little bit different today than yesterday, but we're going to practice both skills together. So notice, what would a two-digit by two-digit multiplication problem look like when using the parent method? Yesterday we used the area model and we made 4 squares because we know that the 2 digits gets broken into 2 digits and the other 2 digits gets broken into 2 place values as well. And then we multiply each of the 4 boxes. But what would that look like if we use the parent method? So we're going to see how those two work together so we can hopefully transition eventually from the area model to the parent method because it goes faster and quicker. But yet we still want to make sure we're accurate. That's why we're going to use the area model as well. So here we go, 67 times 43. We have the 60 plus 7 broken down and the 40 plus 3 broken down. So if we know what to do in those parts, we'll take care of those parts first, create our problems. We have 60 times 40 and 60 times 3. We've got 7 times 40 and 7 times 3. So now we're going to do as the parent problem. We're going to start up, when we do the parent problem, we always start with our 1 digit first. We're going to start with our 3 right here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to multiply 3 by 7 and 3 by 6. You see those in these two boxes right here and right here. So realistically, you've done 1 by 2 digit math problems right now. So those two shouldn't be anything out of the norm when we do this first step, right? So we got 7 times 3 is 21. So that means we put the 1 here. The 2 goes above the tens column. And now we have 60 times 3. Well, 3 times 6 is 18. It's in the tens. This would be 180 if we're using the area model. So we know that 3 times 6 would be our 18 plus the 2 from the ones, which would give us 20. So if you really think about this, the first line is really these two boxes added together. And now we get to that next step, which seems to be always the tricky part where people get lost right away. So you think about this 4, right? This 4 and 43 is really in the tens place value, which means there is a 0 in the ones, which means that you can put a 0 here because all of these, it's not 4 times 7, it's really 40 times 7 and 40 times 60. So really, there will never be a ones. Our ones will always be a 0 here. And now, it's just like doing 40 times 7, well, we took the 10 out, so 4 times 7 is 28, which gives us 280. So we write the 8 here, and we put the 2 on top. We can get rid of that old 2, so we don't have to worry about that one anymore, because that was with the ones. Now we do the same thing. We know 60 times 40, well, we have a 0 here and 0. That would be 2 zeros. We're factoring out the 10 times 10, which would be 100. So I'm going to take 6 times 4 is 24. So I have 24 groups of 100 or 2,400. So we know 6 times 4 is that 24 plus the 2 from the 7 times 4, which would give us a total of 26. Notice if you think about these two numbers right here in blue, if you add those up, those equal that number right there. So really, we're multiplying and adding at the same time versus doing each part separately in the area model. We add them up, we have 1, 8, 8, 2. If we add up all those parts, they'd be the same thing because those two equal 201, and these ones over here equal 2,680. So our answer would be 2,881. So you can pause the video right now. You might want to rewind and watch it all over again and see how it all works out and how that the parent method and the area model and how they work together, and they both give us the same answer. Here's another problem for us. This time we're going to go freelancing it. We don't have any boxes drawn, so hopefully you're an expert now at drawing the area model box. We're going to start there first because that's our comfort zone. So we're going to go for it. We're going to draw a box to see how good my artistic ability is. And we're going to cut it in half because I have two numbers. My first number is 59, so I'm going to go 50 plus 9. And the other number is 96, so I'm going to go 90 plus 6. And there I have it all set up for me right over there as well. So I'm going to set up my area model. Well, I know it's 90 times 50 and 90 times 9. I got 6 times 50 and 6 times 9. And with that, we will start to solve this problem. So we start with our ones again. We know 6 times 9 is 54. So it looked the same as if we would cover up all this and we would just look at the 9. 6 times 9 would be a 4 here, and the 5 up above. So next one we're going to look at is we're going to look at 6 times 5. So we're actually going this way this time. You know, sometimes we go up and down, sometimes we go left and right. It's just making sure we line them up correctly and think about what we're multiplying. So 6 times 50, so we know that there's a 0 here in the ones. So we're factoring out a 10. 6 times 5 is 30, so I have 30 groups of 10, or I have 300. So I'm looking at 6 times 5 is 30, plus the 5 that I have before from this one right here, which would give me an answer of 35. So that's the first part of it, which doesn't seem to, we've done this before, many lessons, so we feel pretty confident about doing that. It's when we come to the next one, we're multiplying both numbers by 9. It's almost like the 6 doesn't exist anymore, and the 6 actually turns kind of to like a 0, and we have 6 times 90, or 90 times 9, and 90 times 50. So with that, we're going to take that first 9, which means we can put a 0 into the 1's place value, because we know the 9 is in the 10, so I need to start in the 10s. That's another way of doing it, putting a little line here underneath the place value, and a little line there knowing where I need to start. So 9 times 90, I'll take the 0 out first, so we'll factor out a 10. So 9 times 9 is 81. 81 times 10 is 810. So we have 810 as our first one. So 9 times that would be the 1 right here, and the 8 would go on top. We get rid of the 5, and we have the 8 on top. So that's going on top because that's in the hundreds, not in the tens anymore. And now we have 90 times 50. So I'm going to factor out 110 times another 10, which would be 100, which gives us our 2 zeros. 9 times 5 is 45. So I have 4,500 or 4,500. So we know 9 times 5, that problem is 45, plus the 8 right here from that was left or carried over. So we're going to add those together and we get a 3 and a 5 for 53. We're going to add up all those numbers. We got 4, 6, 6, and a 5. So we have 5,664. So feel free to pause the video, rewatch this example if you need to help you to figure out how to solve a 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication problem using the area model and trusting yourself to do it the parent way. Said box 3, now it's your turn. You can do this. I said if you're not sure, can I do it bit by bit like we did, piece by piece? Or if you feel confident, try to do it the parent method and then check it with the area model, because I know we feel a lot more comfortable doing it with the area model method. So pause the video, 78 times 54. Do your best. I look forward to seeing a picture of your results. And one more to try right now, 38 times 67. I'd like to try both the parent method and the area model. So choose when you feel more confident first, or go for it. Try the parent method, give it a shot, and then check it with the area model. Look at the examples to help you as a guide to really help you understand how to solve a 2-digit by 2-digit using the area model. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to jot those down or share those out. Also, if you have any strategies that helped you, make sure you include those as well to help other kids in the class. And thanks again for another great lesson.